To order, and the first item on our agenda is introduction of guests, and I don't believe we have any. So we'll.
Other than Gene, just real quick, Russ Genzel has joined us.
Okay, great. So.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Russ.
Morning.
And to be clear, are we starting with Horizon or IDA?
Horizon.
Okay. So with that, we will need to go into executive session to discuss, Steve.
Particular financials of a company or financials of a particular company.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to do so, please?
Moved.
And a second. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Doreen, do you need to have us give our names when we're doing this for your minutes?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed and carried. So we are now into executive session.
He had said we were off.
We're live.
Okay. Did you get the motion to come out of executive session on live stream?
I did not.
Okay, so may I have a motion to come out of executive session?
Yeah, Ryan. I'll move.
Thank you,
Rita,
Ryan.
second.
Thank you, Rita. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. So agenda item number 3 is to ask for approval or discussion of our minutes of our June 17th meeting.
So moved.
Okay, and is there a second?
This is Serena, second.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And, okay, and opposed? And carried, thank you. Finance Committee. The reports. Who wants to lead that one off?
Did I unmute?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I just have checks, 2 checks today, 290 and 291, that total $9,418.03. One is for Insight Architecture and the other is for our loan management fee from Horizon to FLEDC.
Okay, thank you. So, may we have a motion to accept the Finance Committee report?
So moved. This is Janice.
Thanks, Janice.
Serena, second.
Thanks, Reen. Okay, other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And carried. Thank you. Under our action item agenda, which is number 5, this thing keeps going on, this thing being the virus, so we need to renew our emergency bank signers, which are let's see,
Mike and Steve.
Mike and Steve.
Yep.
Do you have do we have a term on that this time, or?
I think we did another 6 months or 90 days.
Okay.
90 days. I can't remember what we did last month.
We can do 90 days.
Okay. So we would need a resolution to extend the emergency loan signers for Steve and Mike for a period of 90 days.
Mike Sepola, just to be
Mike
specific.
Sepola.
So
Okay.
moved.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Rita.
Kim, second.
Doreen, you're going to have a double one there. Okay, so any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Okay, the FLCC Synchronized Learning Program.
I can take this one, Mike. This is just looking to get a formal approval. We discussed it. The Finger Lakes Community College is submitting an EDA CARES Act to try to get a synchronized learning site established at the Penn Yan Academy. There was a funding gap that was needed to be filled of roughly no more than $8,500 to help with some of the equipment purchase itself. There was some discussion with board members if we could fill that. My recommendation that maybe we fill that initial gap for the school, and knowing that the school then could handle the ongoing costs, the annual cost of keeping this going. And again, the synchronous learning platform is just a way for Finger Lakes Community College to be able to provide their classes, their course catalog at various sites around the region without having each of those individual sites be able to fill a full class. We've tried this in the past a couple different times, trying to do even just some certification classes. I think we did one on like basic accounting at one point, or bookkeeping, and we just couldn't get enough individuals for any one class to make it work financially. Utilizing this feature, you could have 2 or 3 individuals at Penn Yan Academy be taking a class, And you could have another 2 to 3 people actually at the Canandaigua campus and some maybe at their Geneva campus, whatever it may be, to get to that full classroom setting. So for us, it helps eliminate one of the challenges we see here routinely, which is always having to drive somewhere. And especially now as we're in this new day of COVID here, we're realizing that you can do quite a few things remotely, and this just sort of helps us do that. So, long explanation, need a formal board approval. We'll say it's up to $8,500 to help with the equipment purchase. In reality, it will most likely be $8,500, but there is a chance it could be slightly less, but probably not much less than like $8,300 or so. But so the request is for $8,500. That if successful, if the grant is awarded, we would have to come up with that $8,500 for the local match.
Okay, so would someone like to make that motion?
Yeah, Ryan, move.
Kim,
Okay, so,
Kim,
Oh.
second.
okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments, discussion? So the motion is to, if the grant is approved, we would contribute up to $8,500 for equipment.
That's correct.
Okay, so with that, are there any other questions or comments?
Steve, I had a question when you sent the email out. I was asking, and I don't recall, it's for anyone. It's not just for PYA students, correct?
Good question, Rita. Or I'm sorry, Janice. Yes, that's correct. It's for anybody who would like to take the class. It is not just for academy students.
And how I guess it would be on FLCC to market that availability and make it known that that was available, correct?
It predominantly on them, yes.
Okay. Because I just worry that it won't be successful because people wouldn't know about it. And it seems like a great opportunity. So,
Yeah, I'm sure that I don't know how much the school will advertise it or not. I don't think they've probably focused that much on it just yet, but we'll be sure to get the word out as well.
okay. Well, you know me, if I can help, let me know.
Absolutely.
Because after all, they are getting tuition from the program. So it's really to their benefit to do this. So if there are no other questions, I would ask for the vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And carried. That's great. So our next item on the action item is a loan request from the Rochester Folk Art Guild. Mike Papari, I guess you give us some information on that.
Yep, had on mute myself. Yeah, the Rochester Folk Art Guild is seeking a $65,000 loan. Would be fixed at 2.6% interest, 5-year term. Collateral on the loan would be a UCC filing on assets and inventory, as well as securing an investment account to protect our loan. The loan review committee did underwrite the loan and has recommended it for approval.
Okay, may we have a motion to approve that loan?
This is Janice.
Thank you and thank you. Any questions or comments for Mike? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And carried.
Did we get who the second was on that? Who seconded?
Kim, right?
I can be second, Kim.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Okay, looking at my agenda, we have the opportunity for 2 executive sessions. So I don't think we need another one, do we?
No.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, we can adjourn this meeting.
So moved, Rita.
Thanks, Rita.
Second, Janice.
Thank you, Janice. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The meeting is adjourned. So with that, we will move into the Economic Development Business Park, Economic Development Center agenda. I don't believe that's changed, so we'll call the meeting to order. And introduction of guests. Russ is still with us, I believe. So you've been introduced again. So I do believe we need to go into executive session. And Steve, that is.
Again, it's to discuss the financials of a particular company.
Okay, thank you. Would someone like to make that motion, please?
So moved. Ryan.
Second.
Janice.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. And Michael, we're offline now.
Wait,
there,
yeah, hold on
wanna
real
go
quick.
stream.
Actually, you can, I don't believe, and Russ, correct me if I'm
Michael,
wrong
Barry,
here, but
take down your
the motions
take down
can
your
still be
spreadsheet.
made in executive session, right? That to come out?
Yeah, you can make the motion in executive session to come out. It doesn't make a difference one way or the other.
Okay.
It just should be reflected in the minutes, you know, who made the motion, second, how
Yep.
everyone voted.
I don't care which way we do it, so. Let's just live stream and do it that way, and everybody can see what we're doing.
Okay, fair enough.
Mike LaPerry, I don't want to come out of live stream with your spreadsheet still on the screen.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so we have a motion to come out of exec. You're all set, Michael?
We are live.
Okay, may I have a motion to come out of executive session?
This is Bill.
And a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And carried, so we'll follow on with our agenda. Look for a motion to approve the minutes of our June 17th meeting.
So moved. This is Janice.
Thank you,
Second, Rita.
Janice. Thanks, Rita. Any other questions or comments on the minutes? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And carried. Do we have any changes in the agenda?
I don't believe so.
All right, great. So, finance report, please. And
I have, for the FLEDC, checks totaling $44,662.29. Check numbers 5252 to 5273. I have one check number 1278 for the revolving loan fund for $2,856.23, which is also the loan management fee. I don't know if anybody's got any questions.
I hear no one, or I don't hear any questions, so I would entertain a motion to accept the finance committee's report or the financial report.
So moved, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
Second.
Thanks, Kim. If there are no other questions or comments, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And carried. So we're into the management reports, and Doreen, you get the distinct honor of going first again.
Nothing in your report.
Okay. So we'll go with Mike Lapari.
Yep. Most of my work again was addressed during the actual board meeting today, but we're pushing forward towards the final application due date for the building improvement fund, which is August 11th. There's some certainly cool projects in there that will provide some additional residencies in downtown, as well as some unique additions to existing businesses to make them more aesthetically pleasing and user friendly. Looking forward to seeing what final applications show and which projects are ultimately selected to receive funding.
Okay. Any questions for Mike? Michael.
The only additional comment I'd like to make regarding my portion of the report is relevant to the loan assistant tool that we use to manage our loan portfolio. With all of the changes due to COVID-19 relative to deferment of payments and everything else, we've discovered that this tool has some significant limitations. Without getting into the details, we're looking at alternatives and we're going through some analysis right now, and there is a possibility that we may be coming back to the board in the near term with a recommendation for a different tool. And I'd be happy to share the details with anybody, especially in the financial world, at any point in time. And that's it for me.
Okay, any questions for Michael? Steve.
I'll just add that I'll start by thanking my team here. They've been phenomenal. over basically the last week and a half that I've been out and largely unreachable. So I really appreciate that, especially coming into a board meeting. It gives a tremendous amount of confidence to know that when things come up that are unplanned, you don't have to worry about things all that much. So I just wanted to thank them for that. Make a brief, just a note, if you hadn't seen that John Adamski passed away. John was the original, he was the original idea creator for the Finger Lakes Museum, and the huge, obviously, cheerleader for that project, and pushed it quite a ways forward. And so it was sad to see him go, but everything that's been going on out on the Branchport campus is really started with his idea. So it's sad to see him go. And just, I guess the only thing I'll really add here is that it is nice to see the projects, some sort of real life economic development work starting to come back in, which has been pleasant. Again, thank the team, because it's like, I think just in the last week, I believe I got 3, maybe 4 inquiries alone on new projects, and each one of them I had to just keep pushing right off to the mainly to Mike LePerry to handle those. But so it's good to see that coming in. Local employers all trying to hire again, which is also great to see. And we're right back to the ongoing challenge of where to find the employees for those employers. So kind of back to the normal routine. We're businesses wanting to come in, existing businesses wanting to grow, trying to find employees for them. So back to stuff we're kind of used to doing. That's all I had.
Steve, is there anything you can share with the committee you work on a regional situation with all this virus and restrictions and all that sort of thing?
No.
Okay.
So the last, nothing new anyways, nothing that's, again, we don't, the control room, I assume is what you're talking about. The control room actually doesn't really get any information that the public doesn't get. In fact, most of the time, I think the public gets it slightly before we do. But it does, what it does do is allow us to funnel questions kind of directly into the team. And we did have a call, to that, and I said, I guess that's not entirely true. We did have a call yesterday. It was a combined call, control room call with the Southern Tier. And they had I'm probably going to get the title wrong, the Deputy Secretary of Education, on just going over the thoughts and concepts and plans for schools to reopen and the metrics that they're looking at. And it seems like pretty much every region, I believe, maybe not New York City, but at least in the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier, and I think most of upstate, is going to be allowed to go back to a large degree fully. Once school is planning to start. The biggest challenges and obstacles I think the schools still have to figure out, and that the state's aware of and trying to figure out ways to help them, is transportation. I know there was one rural school district that said if they did the every other seat restriction, they were going to need something like 138 buses, and they have 30 buses. So there's some real issues there. One of the thoughts that came back, or solutions to that, was do a morning and an afternoon run, which obviously I think that was just a top of mind thought, because that can't possibly work. You'd have to have a morning and afternoon school session, so that doesn't really work. So that's moving along. All of our metrics are still showing that things are okay, and we're just being told to prepare for any potential increase in positives, which they believe will come with people coming to the area. But other than that, Gene, it might be a little bit easier to do if there's specific questions, I can try to answer them, but.
Well, my reason for answering the question and asking the question is, although we get the rules and regulations, it always seems that they're open for interpretation. And they're just not clear cut, or there's a lot of differences between different organizations. And so we don't need to discuss it here, but it still is very challenging for those of us who are in business to really understand and know what they're looking for. And the other challenge is that the state will threaten you with the loss of a license, whether it be a liquor license, a barber's license, or whatever. So it's still very challenging for businesses, but I guess
I can feel your frustration. You're not the only business owner with that frustration. They have not, for whatever reason, figured out that the generalities of some of these rules are causing significant issues. And I think the hardest ones for anyone to grapple with is actually pinpointed to kind of your business, Gene. The restaurant / event venues / what's a religious ceremony, what's a social gathering, what's a restaurant, which rules do you follow? And it's unfortunately, depending on who you ask at the state, it will depend on the answer you get, which is, I guess, sort of summarizes the challenge of how we're trying to operate here.
Steve, is there any context where we could have a webinar for businesses in terms of Gene's point about interpreting the guidelines or the laws or the rules as, just as assistance for folks so they would understand the pros and cons of the choices I guess they make if it's not clear, or to share learning across different businesses?
They've done them. We have had state officials partake, like they've spoken to the Yates County Legislature. I think they've done it now in a few other counties as well. Now, it's a great idea. We probably have to do it by industry, just because again, every single sector has so many questions that you'd never get through them all.
Well, we could put some questions on the registration page, to collect in advance. If we were to do it, I don't know. It just seems like you could break it down, like you said, into sectors, but if we know of some, Gene, other people would know of some, but then you could collect them when people register. And then you could start by answering those questions. And then there could be a panel, a discussion that someone would have to moderate. I don't know. I didn't know how much access people had to get answers for those things, or if they're left to their own to figure it out. And to Gene's point, taking risks or threats. I can't imagine operating that way would be so stressful.
It's so those questions, Janice, are the ones you're asking are getting funneled to us. Not quite around the clock anymore. They've lessened a little bit, but I think between Doug Paddock and myself, I have no idea how many emails and texts and calls we get on a weekly basis. But asking these questions, and then we in turn send them to the control room, and the control room tries to get answers itself. So it's we, in a way, the state's been trying to do that, and I believe this is just my opinion, that a lot of the rules you see coming out that the governor's team has. I think they're relying on the public's sort of immediate response back to their initial rules to help guide them further, because it's just too much for them to try to figure out how to honestly control every single industry sector and think of all the potential issues and challenges and variables that come with doing that. So we get a steady stream. You can actually, the state does have a website. You can submit your questions. There's hundreds and hundreds of questions every single week going in, and across each county is getting hundreds of questions every week going in. So they're trying to do that. I do think there's something too, though. There might be a way for the state to probably help them to do some of these webinars, like you're saying. But I think they'd almost have to do it by industry. But they can
That's
start
fine.
generating the most questions.
Right?
Yeah.
The
I'll push that. Ask about
The
that.
challenge doesn't seem to be the questions. The challenge seems to be to get a definitive answer.
Right.
And so there's lots of questions, and Steve and the folks at the county have done a great job of collecting them, sending them in. However, we just don't seem to be able to get answers. And what we're hearing is that a lot of these rules and regulations seem to be impacted more by the New York City area. And if they're writing rules for the state, obviously our climate here is certainly much different than New York City. But so anyway, just hopefully someday this will be over with and we can go back to doing some of the things. But it's really challenging with weddings and things like that, where our restaurant can be at 50% capacity or something like that, which means we can have well over 100 people, but then we said we can't have groups more than 50 people. And then you've got wedding guests coming in from wherever, and now they're being told they can't come in. It's just a mess. Anyway, that's my problem. So anything more for Steve? If not, then we'll move into our action items. And number one on that is the Spencer loan request. So I'll defer that information to Mike LaParla.
Mike, you're on mute.
That help?
It does. We can hear you better now.
Yeah, that's good. Ray Spencer has 3 existing loans with us, and he's requested some changes to the payment structure as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. The Blue Heron Bakery loan has 2 loans. A part of it, $63,500 loan, is an interest-only loan that will be paid in full once this DRI award is distributed and reimbursed to him. That will remain interest only. The other loan, which is $56,500, a part of the Blue Heron Bakery, he is requesting an additional 2 months of interest only. The loan was originally structured to provide interest only payments until the business opened. He is projecting a mid to late August opening for the bakery, and therefore looking for interest only for July and August, and would resume principal payments in September.
Okay. Should we break these into 2 resolutions or do it all?
I would do them separate.
Okay. So then the first one you want to put on the table, Mike, is
$5,600 loan to Blue Heron Bakery to remain interest only for July and August, with principal resuming in September of 2020.
This is Rita, so moved.
This is Janice, second.
other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I abstain.
Abstentions? Yeah, okay, and 1
Right.
abstention. Okay, Mike, you want to put up the next resolution on the table for us, please?
Yep, so Ray Spencer also has a loan with, for the Union Block project. He is requesting, that loan, excuse me, is broken into seasonal payment structure. So in the winter months, he pays $1,717.92. In the summer months, that increases to $3,410.20. Ray is requesting that we continue the reduced payment amount as a result of the virus. He's hoping to continue making the $1,717.92 payment until the restaurant can open at full capacity or not to exceed 1 year, whichever would occur first.
Okay. Would someone like to make that a formal motion?
Rita, so moved.
Janice, second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes, I abstain.
Okay, thank you. So that is carried. So the next resolution on our agenda has to do with the public hearing for Santa.
Crisanta Incorporated, correct.
Real quick, Mike, let me jump in. Were there two different requests for the Blue Heron Bakery or just the one?
Just the one.
Okay, good. All right.
The DRI award is staying as is.
Fine.
Okay, so our resolution regarding the public hearing.
So we have received a straight leaseback application for Crisanta Inc., which is operated by Chris Iverson. He is working on a townhome project on Water and Wagner Street that would construct 18 new townhomes that would be for sale at market rate. The total project cost is $4,765,000. He is requested property tax abatement, sales and use tax abatement, and mortgage tax abatement. The property tax projected savings would be $94,814. Sales and use tax savings projected at $196,000, and mortgage tax savings at $16,000. This is a total projected savings of $306,814. Would be a different pilot structure. It would be a 5-year pilot with the units that are fully constructed and then sold, removed from the pilot schedule. At this time, we're just looking for approval to hold the public hearing as the incentives are over the $100,000 threshold.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion to approve holding a public hearing. Do I mute? Someone want to move that, or we all muted?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
No, roll call, Gene.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, Doreen.
I kicked you under the table.
Well, thank you.
No. Gene,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Rita,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Serene,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that is approved. Thank you.
Doreen,
Yes.
one minor thing. The Wagner Street is spelled Wagener.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll, the Riri project.
Correct. We'll start with the secret resolution. Riri LLC is the project at 111 Liberty Street. They will be completing the interior and some minor exterior renovations to complete the build out of the building, including 8 apartments, 5 loft apartments, and 3 executive apartments. There's one commercial space that has interest from a medical office, and 3 additional commercial spaces located on the lowest level of the building. The Village of Penny Inn Planning Board was designated as the lead agency, and they have determined there's no significance, and provided a negative declaration on the project, meaning the project will not have significant impact on the environment. And no environmental impact statement needs to be prepared due to that negative declaration. So we needed to adopt a resolution to agree with the determination by the lead agency, Village of Penny Inn Planning Board, and accept a negative declaration.
Okay. So our motion would be to accept the negative declaration of the Penny Inn Planning Board. So would someone like to move that?
So
Kim,
moved,
so-
Rita.
Second, Janice.
Thank you. Questions, comments? All in favor?
No,
Aye.
roll call.
Roll call.
Okay, got kicked twice. You're doing well. Okay.
Jean,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Rita,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Serene,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Okay, that is approved. Thank you. I see nothing more on my agenda. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up?
We get
We have
We
to do
have to-
the approving resolution.
approving resolution now for Riri.
Oh, okay. So,
Just the seeker. So same information, Riri 111 Liberty. Total project cost is $2,019,869. They've requested a straight lease back with all 3 tax abatements, property, sales, and mortgage. The projected property tax savings are $166,181.60. That'd be over the 10-year pilot period. The sales and use tax is projected at $31,520, and mortgage tax savings projected at $15,280. That projects out to be a total savings of $212,981.60 over the 10-year pilot.
okay. I have a resolution to approve that.
So moved. This is Janice.
Thanks, Janice.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Doreen, before you kick me, which way are we going?
Jean,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Rita,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Serene,
Yes.
Bill, Janice.
Yes.
Okay, so that is approved as well. So now I'll go back and ask if there's anything else that would like to bring up or discuss. Okay, hearing nothing, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and our next meeting is on August 19th.
So moved. This is Janice.
No, second. That's Ryan.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Appreciate the attendance.